This is Raw Narrative. Raw Narrative. Stories in the raw.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Raw Narrative, episode 7. I am your host, Adriana, and today you have my husband back again, Tyler.
I'm back.
He's back.
Everybody's least favorite guest host.
The only guest host thus far. No.
So the favorite, right?
Yeah, the favorite.
By default.
Yeah, so what have you been up to, Tyler? What's been new?
Been off for like the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you have.
I have been. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been nice spending time with you and like having you home. So you haven't been like traveling for work, and we've been able to enjoy the holidays. We had our Friendsmas from the last update, and I have a confession to make. So if you watched episode 6, you saw that I gave you guys a sneak peek of my Dirty Santa gift. I stole my own gift. Okay, I know it sounds bad, but I did because it was just a really good, it was something that I wanted. So I stole it, and it's Dirty Santa, so I'm allowed to do that.
To your credit, that you've actually read the book, so
yeah, I've been reading the
book. It wasn't like
book.
a cheap steal.
Yeah, Happy Place by Emily Henry. Super good book. Great chick flick book. Definitely recommend it if you're looking for a good book. But yeah, I've been reading the book, and I think like my New Year's resolution is to read like one book a month, like fiction.
Yeah, that's
or
great.
nonfiction, but I've been really into like fun fiction books. So that's my New Year's resolution.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And what did we do today? We did something really stereotypical.
Oh yeah, January 2nd.
January 2nd.
What do we do on January 2nd?
What did we do? We went to the gym.
We did. Guilty.
Well, we had a
We gotta
home
put in our
gym.
2 weeks.
We had a home gym, and then like we reorganized everything and sold off a bunch of our equipment to make room to park my car in the garage. And so, which I really appreciate, because now like winter's here and it's snowy / sleet, icy season, and I don't have to defrost my car now. So
Must be nice.
that's a win. I know. But you primarily work from home when you're home. But
Must be nice.
must be nice. Yeah, it is nice.
But I'm happy for you.
Thanks. I'm glad you're happy for me. I'm happy for me too. And you get to drive my car a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that's a win. Also, I got a new pair of glasses from Warby Parker. I'm not wearing them right now, but they're like these cute gold aviator glasses. Been digging those. So new me, a new year, new glasses, new benefits. Good. I literally was like, oh my gosh, I didn't use my glasses benefit. I have so many reading glasses, but I was like, I don't want to lose the benefit. So I'm going to like use the benefit before January 1st. It was like January 25th or no, December 25th, 26th.
Yeah.
Around Christmas. I was like submitting the form on Warby Parker. Like, did I make it on time to use my benefit? So that, and then, yeah, I've been tinkering around. I had to get a new MacBook Pro because my other Mac didn't have enough RAM, and I got it back in like 2020, but it just was not doing it for me. My applications were lagging. Adobe was being crazy. Lightroom was being crazy. Everything was like being crazy. Are you changing the air conditioning?
Yeah, it's so hot in here right now.
He's changing the air conditioning from his phone. I was like looking over at him like, what are you doing?
I'm literally sweating right now.
Oh, yeah, turn it up. Make it cold in here. Yeah, so that's been like part of our flow. We're praying for snow on Friday. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
But
have
not here.
an engagement shoot.
Yeah, but not here.
Yeah, not here. Up in Boone
Keep that
area.
away from here, man.
Oh my gosh, guys. We had like, so my bride and my groom, they're super, super, super sweet. And they want like these dreamy, like mountain, like tree farm kind of style photos for their engagements, but it's post Christmas time. So a lot of these farms are like shut down for the season. So part of my homework was like, I got to find the perfect spot, like a farm that's open
Should you shout the farm out though, since they're
I don't remember. Yeah, I can. I know her name's Diane. She's wonderful. I will have to like list the farm when I have the photos done. Because, anyways, I found
Diane.
Diane is the sweetest owner of this tree farm out in Boone. I'll find their name and info, and like once the photos are done and we did the shoot, like I'll give them a shout out, obviously, and tag the venue for you guys if you're in North Carolina to go, chop down your tree. It's like a choose and cut farm, like super cute.
Don't they have a place you could stay?
They have a
on site?
cute Airbnb property on the tree farm.
That's awesome.
So I know we were talking to our friends about it, and I think we're gonna book with them
Yeah, that's pretty
for
cool.
like in the fall to like have a Hallmark moment, like tree farm experience where you stay on the property. I was like, oh, when I saw that, I was like, we're booking the tree farm. But she was so gracious enough to let us have the engagement photos on the farm after the closures. So super excited. So I'll keep you guys posted. That will be this Friday. So when you guys are listening to this podcast, I'll be out shooting the engagement session, and I'm sure I'll post some sneak peeks and whatnot. So that's kind of like, what else is new with you, Mr. Man, Mr. Hubbers?
Literally nothing. It's
No,
just a new year.
It's the new year, new you. Yeah. But I put I made a post, okay, on like, as a photographer, we have like lots of forums where we network with other photographers in the community or across the states and across the world. So I am in a ton of like groups where we like to talk about things or share experiences or give advice and tips and tricks and talk about gear. So in one of the forums, I put out like a little feeler, and I was like, share your crazy wedding stories. Guys, these stories do not disappoint. Like, and I brought Tyler on because I just want him to react to them. I've got several. Oh my gosh. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I haven't even read this one yet. So we're going to read this one together. Okay. Okay. This is all anonymous. I'm not going to say any names, but first crazy wedding story. She said, gosh, I could write a book. Had a super drunk mother of the bride fall out of her chair during the ceremony and pee all over herself. I shouldn't cry. I'm like laughing, crying already. Oh no. Oh my God.
It's worse than that.
No, I'm just thinking of the mother of the bride. She fell out of her chair because she was super drunk, and she peed all over herself during the ceremony. Like, take that in. Like, imagine that.
Dang.
Like, that's crazy. Okay, remember when we talked about preventing crazy things? We can't control other people. So this is a moment where we probably couldn't control what she had to drink, but maybe have a conversation with a parent or a loved one that is predispositioned to have alcohol consumption in excess, and maybe tell them the story. Maybe they won't do this to you. Okay. Beach wedding at a public beach. Random guy. Wait, hold on. Maybe this is the second one. She said this is a beach wedding at a public beach. Random guy drowned right in front of us.
What?
Some of the wedding guests were doctors, and they were giving him CPR until the lifeguards came with the truck.
What? Did she say if the guy made it though?
Oh my gosh. She didn't say. She's giving like, this is one person just sharing in one comment, like a few different stories. So this guy like,
So the
oh
guy
my gosh, this
drowned
is
at the
because
wedding?
Tyler and I had a beach wedding.
Yeah.
And there were like, remember we were talking about like all the guests and like, not like people, bystanders that were like in awe just watching the wedding. So this was just a bystander.
Which is a good thing to think about in terms of weddings, because you may not think about that if you have a beach wedding. Like, obviously, if you have a private beach, that may not be
Yeah.
the
Get
same
married on
issue.
off season. If you're having
But
a
can
beach
you
wedding.
imagine like that being part of your wedding story? Is some guy almost drowned?
Drowned there right in front of us. And then the wedding guests, they stopped the wedding to give CPR. That's
I'm glad they stopped it.
Obviously, like
Yeah.
that's more important. Like a human life is more valuable than like
Yeah.
this moment. But oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay, this was another one. Once I was doing a very small elopement, and this is a photographer's perspective, okay? Like all of these, just so you know. Once I was doing a very small elopement, just like 4 people, so I didn't see the bride before the ceremony. I was just waiting on the beach for her. She comes over the dune line, and bless her heart, she was about 5'2" and tiny. The groom's mother made her a bouquet. It was 4 feet long.
That's awesome. So her head's just like
I
sticking
swear,
out
I
of the...
promise, not an exaggeration. It was teardrop shaped and so wide, it covered her body completely.
So it's just her head sticking out of the bouquet.
Yes. And then she says,
That's
and the
hilarious.
tendrils of flowers and ribbons literally touched the sand as she was walking.
And the funny thing is you can't not use that bouquet because
Yeah.
the mother-in-law made it.
I
right?
know. It's like sentimental. You can't be
know.
like, oh, heck no.
Yeah.
I don't know. Boundaries, but I mean, if you didn't see it beforehand, or what if it's what she wanted?
Or what if she like snuck it up on her and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make you a bouquet," and then you agree to it.
That's
And then
hard.
wedding day, she's like surprised.
Yeah.
This thing's your gown, basically.
I don't, and it's the mother-in-law. This isn't like, if it was your mom, maybe be like, mom, no. But this is like your mom-in-law. You want to like start off on the right foot with mom-in-law.
Like curveball. What if it was out of spite though?
Oh, I don't know.
That would be juicy.
That
I
would
wish
be
we had
really
more
juicy.
context to that.
That's crazy. And then she said, I couldn't decide if the future mother-in-law loved her so much or absolutely hated her.
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
literally what we just said.
That's what I'm saying.
I bet
Like, is
she
it out of-
absolutely hated her then. If we thought that, like if she said that without us reading that.
Low key though, it's kind of funny that she was picking on her height too. If that's the angle that it was out of spite.
She said she was literally a floating head and shoulders over the top of a huge bush of fake flowers.
That's great. I wish she would have shared photos too.
man.
I feel like I need photos for proof.
That
You need
was
to hit
good.
her up and be like,
That was
send
good.
pics.
I'm trying to keep these all anonymous, so thank you for sharing that story. Okay. Oh, okay. I haven't read this one yet. Are you ready for another one? I haven't reacted to this one.
Okay. Let's see what we got.
Okay. I had a bride and groom that had a friend officiate their wedding ceremony because they were already legally married. Both bride and groom are volunteer firefighters, so their captain was chosen. Fast forward to the reception, and captain/officiant got pretty out of hand, inebriated, I guess. Was pretty
Inhabilitated, maybe?
it says say, look at that. What is that word?
Inebriated?
I don't know. I wonder if it's a typo. I think she meant like plastered, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think whatever she was saying,
Yeah.
he got really drunk.
Okay. So was getting pretty handsy with all the women in attendance.
Nice.
We ended up leaving the wedding 30 minutes early because he grabbed my second shooter in an inappropriate manner. Oh my gosh. So guys, I do have that in my contract. I hope all photographers and vendors do have that in your contract. But if you feel unsafe during, like, this is an example of feeling like unsafe. Like even as a wedding guest, leave. Like that's okay. As a vendor, if you feel unsafe in that situation, you need to leave. And especially if it's in your contract. That's why it's important to put that in your contract.
That's wild though that he was like the officiant.
Yeah.
And then afterwards he's like filling people up at the
That's
wedding.
crazy.
This
That's
is
why
not trying to laugh. But
yeah, that's insane.
People don't necessarily know that
Your
he's
safety
not.
and the safety of your team is most important, and all the guests, obviously. But wow. Okay. bride and groom apologized to me profusely the next day and informed me they asked him to leave the reception shortly after we left. Okay, good. Found out 2 weeks later at another wedding where the groom was volunteer fire at the same station that the captain was fired first thing Monday morning because one of the people he got handsy with was the fire chief's daughter.
That story was wild to start with, but what are the chances, man?
Oh,
wow, that is crazy.
That's insane. Oh my gosh. Okay. This one's great. Okay, guys, here's another story. It's gonna make me laugh. Okay. This photographer said, I got bit by an emu in front of everyone. Guests, wedding party, literally everyone during the ceremony. What the heck? And I'm friends with the bride and groom, and I knew most of the bridal party, and they all had to hold back laughter. Okay, this is in the middle of the ceremony. She just got bit by a random emu. I'm curious if like
how did the emu get
how
there?
did the emu
a great
get here?
starting question.
An emu.
Like, is it like one of those
where
wedding
was
llamas?
this?
Like where they're like dressed up?
No. I mean, okay, she said.
Do you have a picture of an emu? Can you Google it really? Can I Google?
You can Google a picture of an emu and like describe what it looks like. I think it looks like an ostrich. Almost.
Oh wait, is it that character from the commercials?
Oh,
Limu Emu or whatever?
Limu Emu from Liberty Mutual. She got bit by the Liberty Mutual bird.
What was an emu? Guys, Google a picture of a stupid emu and then ask yourself how
Liberty. Not sponsored by Liberty. But no.
Like, how is this bird even look at this.
Ew. Oh my gosh.
We're too far from the camera, so I'm not going to show everyone. But
yeah,
Google a picture of an emu.
So she said, I knew most of the bridal party and they all had to hold back laughter. I mean, I was just minding my own business, taking pictures next to the barnyard fence. So it was at a barn. So this is like a barn wedding. That makes sense because I shot a wedding here in October, and a lot of these barns, like if you have a venue, if you have like livestock on your venue, it helps you with taxes, right? Like agriculture. So like a lot of these venues for tax purposes will have like livestock.
Yeah. So pro tip, if you have a wedding at a barn,
make sure there's
talk to the owners about removing the livestock from the premises so you don't get bit.
I mean like maybe another parameter or a fence. Like if this emu was aggressive and like in nature normally, like maybe have like a double fence so it couldn't like reach its neck over to like where all the people would be. That's like a liability, but it's kind of freaking hilarious.
Like what if she would have got like legitimately, I'm assuming she did.
Rabies from the emu.
Yeah, like what if she would have got rabies? That's wild.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and she said she was minding her own business next to the barnyard fence and the emu saw her arm and bit me. That's what it said. And it bit her. Just saw her arm and bit her. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Okay, this one, I have empathy for the victim of the story. But I totally get this photographer's perspective. I would be kind of like, okay. I had a new second shooter. She was with me at the same venue a week earlier where she saw how I went down to the front to get the pictures I needed, and then I got out of there. It was a wall of windows behind us, no place to sneak out, so you had to be fast. Well, she got caught up in the moment, and I about died when she stood up there the whole time. The second shooter, she stood up with the officiant and the bride and groom like the whole time.
She was in
She
was in the photos.
Oh, every single one of those photos.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the lead photographer said, I was up in the balcony praying she would see me so I could shoo her out of there. Nope. She was in every single image of the ceremony.
That must have been an amazing ceremony for her to just be.
I think if she was brand new into photography, she was probably like, I got to get the shot. I gotta nail this, you know?
Yeah.
And she probably was so focused on what she was doing in that moment. She was not like thinking about the whole process. So I will say, if you guys are new to photography, like you need to check out KJ All Access because she has a ton of like behind the scenes, like where do you stand? How do you shoot a wedding? Like go follow her stuff and like sign up for her subscription. It's like a monthly subscription and it like teaches you all the fundamentals and like etiquette, like all the things that you need to know, like what to wear. Like I think she probably just needed some KJ juice in her life. But
that's like possible to edit out, right?
Yeah. But the lead photographer had to edit her out of every single image of the ceremony. I would be pissed.
So
honestly,
if you want to make your lead photographer mad, go stand in the middle of the bridal
I feel
party.
like I would be really sweet. I would be like, honey, like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you got these shots, but this is a learning experience for you.
And this is your last learning experience.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on how her work turned out. Would we make it a learning thing? You know, would I allow her to second shoot for me again? Or would I like make this a learning opportunity? I would look at her work. If she was like willing to learn, I feel like she would never do it again because she would be so mortified. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But if she was kind of like, forget that, you know, not teachable, then I would be like, no, on to the next. But I feel like in the moment, like I would have been sweet and like embarrassed. I wouldn't have gotten snippy with her. But at home,
been snippy with me.
Yeah, at home, I would have been like,
couch.
I can't believe this second shooter.
Yeah, because I would have heard all the grief.
Yeah, I'm sitting here editing out everything just out of like frustration.
So
but then like
save your lead photographer's significant others is the point.
Yeah, the husband have to take
over there trying to watch a movie or a game and
you freaking kidding me right now?
So don't create that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Because you want them to look perfect in the, it's like, Anyways, that's why I said I have empathy for the second shooter, though, the victim of the story. Oh my gosh. Okay, this photographer said, I was carrying the bride's gift for the groom from the bride cabin to the location where they were doing their first look. It was an album of boudoir photos, so a flat box. A giant piece of bird poop plopped down from the sky out of nowhere directly onto the package. Having to explain to the bride why her special gift had bird poop on it was something else.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think like, okay, because everything's like very fast paced. Like when you're when you're shooting a wedding, you're like, okay, hey, are we ready? We're getting ready for first look. Awesome. I've got the gift. Sounds great. I'm hustling over to the groom, walking, plop, bird poop. Like, I feel like I would like try my best to like go to the bathroom and like, I don't know, I would send my assistant. I would be like, assistant, go grab me some wet paper towels ASAP and like stuff for me to clear this off. If I could, if it was like a box. But what if it was like had fabric over the top? You know, like a lot of these gifts
it's true.
Are like pretty and they have like fabric and like nice albums and even like the covers of, you know. Mm-hmm. So there might have not been a way to like just clean it off. Or just like even if you could clean it off, like just that wet stain. To be like, here's your wife's boudoir photos and bird poop. Congratulations. Oh, Lord. Tyler probably would have been like, oh, that's funny. Like the groom's perspective.
Yeah.
Would you have believed the photographer?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, you're not just going to be picking up bird poop and putting it on yourself.
Yeah.
You almost have to leave the bird poop at that point to make it more convincing.
To be like, a bird literally just pooped on this while I was walking.
Exactly. Because if it's like wet and or stained, then you actually have to explain yourself. But if it's bird poop, self-explanatory. Because you didn't just pick that up with your hand and put it on there.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What is... Okay. I had a couple book me a few weeks out from their wedding because their initial photographer canceled on them. All this to say, I did not know this couple very well at all. We had one call prior to their wedding day. The day of their wedding rolls around and things go pretty well. Nothing out of the ordinary until the reception. I always feel like it's the reception. Like something, it's the alcohol.
Yeah, it's definitely the alcohol.
It's the alcohol. Yeah.
And also too, like, people are actually free to talk, because that's what gets most people in trouble, is their mouth, right? So,
right.
Like, during the ceremony,
or like Mr.
No one's
Firefighter,
talking.
his hands.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Free
one
to
was
talk
crazy.
and touch.
No, get that out of my mind. No, so bad. Okay, well, okay, nothing out of the ordinary until the reception. There's always that one guest who you can tell is going to be the life of the party. And I spotted this one right away. She says, let's call him Kevin. So for the purpose of this podcast and this comment, his name is Kevin, but we don't know his real name. Kevin was grabbing the DJ's mic, constantly cutting the line at the bar, hyping up the dance floor.
Oh, yes.
We all know this person. We all know Kevin.
You want a Kevin at a wedding.
You do want a Kevin, but I don't know if you want Kevin with what have you seen like remember Brooklyn Nine-Nine where it was like 1 drink Amy, 2 drink Amy, 3 drink Amy, 4 drink Amy.
You need the
different versions.
Yeah, you need like 4 or 5 drink Kevin. But
right.
then
so you
somebody needs to cut Kevin off.
You like Kevin like version of like 1 drink, 2 drink, 3 drink, maybe 4 drink.
Yeah, depending
but
on
then
tolerance.
like 4 and up, he's a completely different Kevin.
Yeah, 4 drink Kevin is wild.
Yeah. So this is what she's about to describe as 4 drink Kevin and up. Okay. Kevin was grabbing the DJ's mic, constantly cutting the line at the bar, hyping up the dance floor.
I don't know. It still sounds kind of fun.
I know this is good, Kevin. Okay. And then was somehow already pretty drunk, like 10 minutes into the reception. It was something funny I noticed, but nothing that I hadn't seen before until he literally passed out stone cold drunk. She said, I'm going to cry. The couple called me over because they're like, photographer, come here, right? Like on the reception. They all wanted to pose with his passed out body. Putting
awesome.
Sunglasses on him, propping him up in a chair.
That's what 4 drink Kevin gets for getting blacked out
this
drunk.
This is like 10 drink Kevin. I don't know. Posing all around him. Honestly, it made me super uncomfortable because this man seemed like he needed legit medical attention.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. But I don't know how this couple and I didn't know of this. Know if this is how they normally party. So
just like it's fine. Like
this is how
were
we
with
party.
them last night. This was
right. This happened before. Well, Kevin was not propped in the chair very well because he fell out of the chair and face planted and still didn't wake up. Now everyone was starting to get nervous and nobody could wake him up. Kevin was also a pretty large fellow, so they couldn't really pick him back up either. Well, eventually an ambulance came and had to take Kevin out in a stretcher. But the couple still thought it was funny and even got a group of people to pose in front of the ambulance together.
The ambulances got in on that though.
This is so bad.
The stretcher just lifting him up.
No, like you know, like low-key, like I don't know. You probably have some EMTs that were like, these guys are stupid because they see crazy stuff, or you had the EMT that was like, yeah, like you don't know. I don't know who, like deep down, but like, he went to his wife and like told the story, like the EMT at night, and obviously HIPAA, you can't say like people's information, like names or like where you were, but you could be like, this guy named quote unquote Kevin. We all have a Kevin story, right?
Big Kevin.
But the photographer said, I never found out what happened to Kevin after that night.
Oh, dang.
But I still think about him every now and then. Aw, you're such a good photographer. Good sport, man.
Oh, well, but if she like they did Big Kevin's wedding in the future.
Oh,
never
like,
the same.
What if they booked you in the future? Like Kevin's fiance. Would you take the wedding? Would you take that client on? I don't know if I would. Like, liability. I don't know. Like, would you want to experience that? Like, the groom at his own wedding getting, like, if you knew he was that way?
I mean, you've been through it once. So
At our wedding?
No, I'm saying, like, if you're that photographer, you've already seen Kevin, like, hauled off. So,
yeah.
Like, how many lives does this guy
I guess
have?
you would kind of know, like, what to expect.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have a good support team with me. I'd have my husband on speed dial to be like, boo, you got to bail me out, man, if it got crazy. Again, contracts, guys, contracts. And that goes for the couples and the photographer or vendor. You have to have a good contract. That is like, oh, we should do a whole segment about contracts. Like,
yeah, because we're attorneys.
Yeah. No.
You should get an attorney.
Well, no, you have an. Yeah. Ooh, discussion. A special guest attorney.
I agree. That
would be really
cool.
good.
I think
like how the couples can protect. It's just there. It's there for good boundaries. Honestly, a lot of times we don't even have to enforce the contract, but it's just there to know. It's just like expectations. These are the expectations for the bride and the groom. I put in like my contract how soon my couples are going to get their photos back by. Yeah. I have a literal date highlighted. So that way there's no like ifs, ands, or buts. You will have your photos back by this date and it's in the contract. You don't have to wait, 5-6 months to get your photos back from me.
It's just going to make you think about, though, like the story you gave. Like, at what point do you stop taking photos? Because at first it's like kind of funny, but then it's like, oh, dang, this guy's getting.
It's very subjective.
Yeah, it's like this dude's getting like hauled off in an
I'm
ambulance.
personally an overshooter.
So you're like, as the ambulance is driving
So
off.
I would rather have more photos than not enough.
But I'm talking about the guy who passed out.
I know.
Talking about.
But what if the bride was like, hey, do you have photos? Or what if the police needed me to provide photos of something crazy?
True. Yeah, is it better to have more or less photos?
Or do you not want to have the photos because you don't want to be involved?
I know, because like, what if you get them in trouble for...
It's not me getting in. I'm not in trouble.
No, I'm saying you get the people around him in trouble for letting him consume that much.
I wouldn't be getting people in trouble. Each person is responsible for themselves, and you have to be liable to yourself for the decisions you make.
Okay, but like, what if they're like shoving like a funnel down his throat?
And the police came to me and asked me for photos? I'm not going to tell them no.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I mean, y'all have to make good choices at your wedding.
Yeah.
I'm a very honest individual.
Turn anyone into a Kevin at your wedding.
I am a very honest individual. I'd rather be overly honest. I'm not going to be hiding truths. Nope.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah. But have a good contract. That's for photographers, vendors, and the clients too. Like, do not book a photographer without a contract because you're asking for a nightmare, honestly.
Yeah, you really
are. Like,
we've been to some weddings, and we won't name names or anything,
no.
but we've been to some weddings with
they didn't have a contract.
Yeah, like we've seen some wild photographers, not even like the image quality, but just like the way they were acting. We've seen some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a fun episode. We should talk about
our own as wedding guests.
Yeah.
What's funny is Tyler does not like weddings.
I don't. I hate weddings.
And I'm a wedding photographer. I'm sorry, our friends, but there are numerous weddings that we've been to, and he has worn.
I thought we talked about this.
Did we talk about this on a podcast?
Yeah.
Well, if you had, I don't think you did. We talked about this.
Oh, really? I mean, we can restate it, but
I kind of like restate stories anyway sometimes. But he has worn, if you are a friend of ours and you've known us since we've been together, he's most likely worn a pair of socks to your wedding that says 0% interested.
0. Yep.
Pair of socks that says 0% interested.
That's nothing against you as individuals and couples. I hope you have the best and longest marriage.
I'm so embarrassed.
Post-wedding.
Right,
but I do not want to be at your wedding.
he would be like the DJ at the wedding, though. You like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've DJ'd a few weddings, and it's okay. It's fun. I mean, I don't like claim to be like a wedding DJ, but I've done it before.
Yeah. You like music and like the hype.
Yeah, exactly.
You had fun at our wedding, though. You did, but you were tired.
I did, but it was kind of like forced. Like,
yeah.
Like it was a lot of fanfare, and I know like it was awesome, but it just like I had to put myself in the moment, you know?
Yeah. I think when you were in the moment,
like
you enjoyed it.
I wouldn't want to get remarried in terms of like a wedding event. You know what I'm saying?
Like a renewal where we do like a whole
Like if we did something small, sure.
I totally want to do like an elopement on the mountains renewal sometime.
I know you do.
Yeah.
And there will be no one there.
No one there. I don't want anyone there other than a photographer. That's it. No family, no friends, just us.
I can get behind that. But I don't want like a big reception.
No. I literally just want to go and have a renewal on a mountain. Like for a 10-year.
Maybe like an emu.
Have an emu or an alpaca.
I wanted alpacas at our original wedding, so maybe this time.
Yeah.
Could get.
We have to find a mountain that has alpacas.
Could find one.
I'm sure we can. If you guys know of mountains with alpacas.
Guys, I will say I've never been to a wedding that has the bride and groom alpacas, but that is a wedding that I can get behind. So
the bride and groom alpacas.
Yeah. So
which is describe that to people because they are not sure. What
okay, so there are trained alpacas you can have at your wedding, and they dress them up, or they'll bring like two, a male and a female alpaca, and they'll dress them as like a bride and groom alpaca. Super cool. If you book Adriana and happen to have that at your wedding, I might actually be Adriana's assistant for that wedding just to see those alpacas dressed as a bride and groom, because those are really cool.
You know what would be funny is if we had a mule at our renewal.
Can you imagine it just like going off the entire time though, because it's like irritated? Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because Tyler, he assists me with like a lot of like my engagement shoots or lifestyle family shoots and stuff like that. He'll come and like help me with gear or like hold the dog. Really, he's there for the dog.
I'm there for the dogs.
Anytime there's a dog, he's like, I'll be there because I want to play with the dog.
Yeah. Dogs over humans.
Yeah. So I guess he loves the people too, but he loves the dogs.
Like, nice to meet you. Where's your animal at?
Well, I always call him the mule because he's carrying all my gear for me normally. And so I always jokingly tell him I'm going to, get him a t-shirt that says the mule on it. So anyways, on that note, it was great sharing all those stories, huh?
It was a load of fun.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Keep sending your stories though.
Oh my gosh.
They're awesome. We enjoy
I love
reading
these stories.
them.
I have so many more I couldn't even get through on this episode. So we'll have to tackle those later. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. But guys, thanks for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, leave a like, a thumbs up. If you're listening to the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you gave me a 5-star review if you've enjoyed listening to my podcasts.
And if you have an alpaca in your wedding, please book Adriana,
a
photographer.
Yeah. Or if you have a wedding booked with me, book an alpaca. Boom. We'll talk to y'all later. Toodles.
This is Raw Narrative. Raw Narrative. Stories in the Raw.